Bada bada bing, bada bada boom. Geeks are coming right back at you. We got the picks, we got the predictions. It's Geeks Visions. We got UFC Fight Night. We're rocking with Jamahal Hill, Johnny Walker as the new main event headliner. Let's get into it. Let's start from the bottom. We are going to have the first fight, which is Jessi Strader versus Chad and Helger. The odds come out on this fight. Jessi Strader's plus 200, Chad and Helger's minus 265. Initial thoughts from me. I like plus 200 Jessi Strader. I know he just got knocked out flatline by Montel Jackson, and he looked really bad, but there's no way that he can come back and look as bad as he just did, in my opinion. And I loved his leg kicks. We got to see him for like a minute. He was on short notice, so give him that too. I liked his leg kicks. I watched a lot of tape on Helger. Well, not a lot of tape. I watched the one tape they put on YouTube. And he's good, but that's all I got. Like, he's just good all the way around. I don't see him as a threat anywhere. And I like Jessi Strader as more of a threat in this fight. I think that as the leg kicks add up, maybe Chad goes for takedown, something like that. But he's a smaller guy in this matchup. So I like Jessi to keep it up, keep it banging, keep the hard shots rolling. That's my pick. Let's go to Dano for the first one on this.
I'm gonna stick with you, bro. I'm going with Strader. I think Anhelinger, he fought someone on this recent season of Tough. He fought them back in the amateur scene. And along with that name, there's some other good names that he's fought. But like you said, I think Strader, the young kid coming off a loss, younger kid anyways, coming off a loss, I think he's gonna come out with a pop. So I got Strader.
Yeah. Fish.
Yeah, so I'm actually going with Chad on this. I see a tough dude, and his Dana White Contender Series split decision win. That was against a tough guy, Muin Gafarov, extreme couture guy, never been finished, had a ton of knockouts, ton of subs. And this guy's losses, they all came early in his career due to subs. I mean, this guy literally arm bars, gis, triangles, you name it. I mean, it was like 5 different subs he got caught in, and he's been undefeated since then, since 2016. I mean, he's been 9-0 since 2016. He's a former Rise fighting Rise FC champ, and I think he's got it. He's never been finished on the feet, has a couple subs, and all the subs that he's lost were all early in his career. So I'm going with Chad on that one. I think he's got it.
Goose.
I'm going to pick Strader, and I'm going to save the analytics in this one. And Helger is a minus 200 favorite debuting off the Contender Series. And I've picked those guys enough, and I've lost with them enough to know I don't want to be on that side at this point. I don't know what it is. I think it might be like that 5-12 matchup in March Madness, but the underdogs win in this situation. So analytics aside, you give me a minus 200 favorite debuting off the Contender Series. More likely than not, I'm going to fade him, and I'm picking Strader on this one.
Yeah, those analytics suck to hear, but they're devastatingly true. Next fight, it's a girl fight. Diana Belbita versus Gloria De Paula. All right, Gloria De Paula's 5-4, so she'll probably be a 500 fighter after this because I got Belbita. She's 14-6. I love her pressure and her volume, and I love her looks. And that's all I got. Let's go Goose first on this one.
Yeah, Valentine's week, Dana White's giving the fans what they want. This is going to be a real treat. I don't know skill-wise how much we're going to see in there. I think Belbita probably walks forward and De Paula's moving backwards. For that, I'm going to give it to Belbita. I would say probably decision in this one, though. I don't really see a finish, so that's my take.
All right, Dano.
I'm sticking with Belbita too, even though I'm kind of a fan of Gloria DePaula. I think she's young, so is Belbita. She fights hard. She's fun to watch, but she got absolutely starched by Cheyenne Buys last time in the first round. So when it comes to finishing, I mean, she can get finished, like you said. I think she's going to be a 500 fighter after this. But can Belbita do it? I don't know. You can't put too much trust in them, but I think I'm definitely riding with Belbita.
Facts. Fish.
Yeah, Belbita. I think she's a better striker, more well-rounded. And Gloria DePaula, I think she still has some work to do. She'll prefer to stand, which I don't think is a good matchup for her on the feet with Diana. And I'm going with Diana.
All right, next fight is Chaz Skelly versus Mark Striegel, both 18-3. This is a bantamweight fight, I believe. Chaz Kelly's going to come out as a favorite in this fight, minus 200. Everyone's saying he's going to come out and get a sub. I don't have faith in him to do that. I'm staying away from this fight. I don't have an accurate read on it. Hands off. Let's go Fishman first.
So Skelly definitely's got more XP in the UFC, 7-3-1. Mark 0-1. Skelly, I mean, both of these guys, it's going to be an interesting matchup because both these guys are dangerous on the ground. I mean, both have a crazy amount of subs, but I'm going with Skelly because I think he's a tougher dude, and I think just in his fights, he's tough to finish, and he's only been knocked out once, has never been subbed. On the other hand, Mark, less experience in the UFC, and he's been knocked out before, has been subbed before. Both dangerous on the ground. I mean, his only loss in the UFC, only fight against was a knockout loss to Saeed Nurmagomedov. But I think Skelly's got this. Tough dude, and I think he's got it.
Juice.
Yeah, I think this one, you say the two ground-based guys. I feel like we could end up with these two getting stuck on the feet and just having like an exciting brawl. That being said, they're both similar in the fact that they're old. They've been pretty inactive, and obviously the record is the same. But I'm going to go with Skelly in this one, mainly because while he has been inactive, he's had a bunch of fights like canceled. If you look on Tapology, I think he's had like in the time since his last fight, he's had 3 scheduled fights and then got canceled. That tells me he's been in training camps. He's been in the gym grinding. You look at Striegel in this one, he's had a lot of time off. He hasn't really been jumping to get back in it. And for that, I'm going Skelly.
Dano.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Skelly too. Even though he does scare me with minus 220, I think since he's just been in the UFC longer, he's just had a consistent higher tier opponent. And 18-3 is a pretty damn good record. But I'm gonna see minus 220. It makes me hard to pick Chaz Skelly, but I think overall, when you think of who's gonna win the fight, I see Chaz Skelly getting his hand raised.
Yeah, I mean, definitely red flags. I mean, older guys at these lighter weights, but at the same time, 18-3, like 18-3 on the other side as well. Like this is gonna be a good scrap. This is good talent in the octagon, and I'm excited for that one. That's why I'm staying off of it. All right, we're going into the next fight. Speaking of Valentine's gals, Jessica Rose Clark versus Stephanie Egger. These girls are absolutely awesome to watch, mostly Miss Jessi Jess because she's a smoke show, and I'm picking her because I think she's going to get the most of her on the feet, and she's been just grinding. I mean, I follow her. I mean, she's been grinding. She's been hitting the pads and stuff, and she like actually gets fueled by trolls, and all the trolls were telling her that she's just a wrestler last fight. So I like it. I like the steam. I like it, and I like her. So let's ride. Let's go, Dano.
I'm riding with Jessi Jess as well, and it's because I think Chukagian fought a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or 2 ago, and I was saying, if she's gonna do something, she's got to do it now. She's getting to that age, And Jessi Jess, she's got all this hype around her out of nowhere, or not out of nowhere, but she's getting all this hype around her name, and she's 34 and she's 11-6. So with all this hype building, she needs to do whatever she wants to do. She's got to do it now. And I think this fight is a must win, or else that hype train is depleted. So Jessi Jess, ground or on the feet, I don't care, but I'm going with you.
Let's ride. Let's go fish.
Jessica Rose, I'm going with her. Team Alpha Male, never been finished. 3 knockouts, 2 subs, and yeah, I think she gets this done. Like the gym she trains out, and but yeah, Stephanie, 1-1 in the UFC, and I just think Jessica's got this. Been in the game a little longer, and she's got it.
Goose.
Yeah, so going back, historically, I stay away from the simp pick. This time I'm taking Jessi Jess. I think she gets it done. And to prove, this is not a simp pick, I think she's the better fighter in the octagon. She's been more proven. She's got wins over Jocelyn Edwards, Sarah Alpar, not saying much here, but Paige Van Zandt. She's lost close fights with Jessica and Panny Kianzad. I think she gets it done. I think her best path to victory is probably staying on the feet. I like the holes that I see in Egger's game more so standing, but I like the Jessi Jess, her cardio as well. She had a 3rd round finish against Sarah Alpar. That tells me that she can keep going late into fights. That's something that Egger is not necessarily proven. So I think Jessi Jess has better skills. I can depend on her to keep the gas tank going through 3 rounds. Because of that, I'm picking Jessi Jess in this one.
Let's go, Miss Jessi Jess. Harley Quinn, Tech. All right, next fight. We got David Onama, the rising prospect out of Uganda, versus Gabriel Benitez, the Mexican. 22-9 is Gabriel Benitez. 8-1. Should I throw in a Mason Jones the Dragon compilation right here?
Mason the Dragon Jones! Bloody fucking tyrant!
So
David Onama is a stallion. Let's make that clear. But Mason Jones is just above that. He's just elite, man. There's levels to the game. And Mason Jones is going to be at the top. David Onama, yeah, he'll probably be up there too. But will he be better than the kid? Never. I'm taking him in this fight. I think that he's training with James Krause. He was on short notice against Mason Jones, looked fantastic. Almost had a couple moments in that fight where it got really scary for us. But I think Onama's going to outlast him in this. I love his tank, and he's going to have a full camp with James Krause in his corner. I think they have a great game plan. Give me David Onama. Let's go Goose to rip this one.
Yeah. You look at Onama, last fight out, he came in short notice, up a weight class, and put on a very good performance against Mason Jones. Ultimately, Mason Jones proved too much for him, as he would most guys in the UFC. But that being said, you look at it, it's almost one of those inspiring losses for Onama where he's like, I'm so close. I got to push it, improve myself. I can make it to that next level. And I think coming down against a smaller opponent, he's not going to be as much of a threat in the grappling department. Onama's going to be able to get in there, get comfortable on the feet. And I see him being much quicker, a little bit more powerful, and I see him finding the button and putting Gabriel Benitez out 1st or 2nd round.
All right, Dano.
all right, I'm sticking with it. I'm going Onama. I just think that, I talk about it all the time, but I think that this is an older guy, well-respected, has been around for a little bit, and they're going to feed him to a young prospect whose hype train was stopped by Mason Jones. But I mean, that was a pretty damn good fight. There were times when, Mason Jones got a pretty good chin, but there are times when he was rocked and he was getting peppered up against the fence. And Onama was like, as a Mason Jones fan, it was tough to watch some of those because Onama looked really good. But with that being said, I think, a rising prospect like this, and then Benitez, who's not the most active and he's older and all that, he's been through a few wars too, which that can't do well on the chin. So, I got to take the rising prospect.
Yeah. Fish, what do you got?
So Benitez, like you guys said, getting a little older towards the end of his run, and but trains at a good gym, aka, and his last fight was that lost to Billy Quarantillo, but this dude dangerous on the ground, has some decent pop in the hands, but he has experience, but this guy David Onama, his fight with Mason Jones the boy, comes up with the win. But Onama, after that loss, this dude, that was his only loss against a very tough guy. And this dude is dangerous, and he's young, training at Glory MMA with Kraus, and he's got it. This dude is dangerous. 100% finish rate, 5 knockouts, 3 subs, and he's got it. Onama.
Bang it in. Next fight. Jayperrin versus Mario Bautista. This is a bantamweight fight as well. Mario Bautista 8-2. Perrin is 10-4. I'm going with Bautista in this one. I like his athleticism. I like the way that he moves in the octagon. He's got a win over Miles Johns. I think he's a good fighter all the way around. And in a fight against a guy that's new to the UFC or coming into the UFC or whatever his deal is, he's just gonna be a very tall task to overcome. So give me Mario Bautista. Not too much thought in this pick. Just give me Mario Bautista. And let's go Dana off the rip.
All right, yeah, I'm sticking with Bautista as well. I followed him since his Contender Series fight and watched him get the contract, and then he's had a fight or two in the UFC. And I'm just pretty big fan of just like how he is in the octagon. He's just fun to watch. He's, like you said, this is bantamweight, so they're going to be hopping in and out, leg kicks, quick punches, and I just think Bautista's a dude. So sticking with that.
Yeah, Goose.
Yeah, so I will say it was hard for me to find much on Jayperrin, who's stepping in on short notice. But I'm going to take the guy who's had the full fight camp, who's been preparing to fight on Saturday. Nothing switched up for him but the opponent. He's ready to go. I'm going to take Mario Bautista in this. You look at it, he's got 2 losses. Corey Sandhagen and Trevin Jones. I'm not going to let that take away too much. I think he has very elite boxing. I'm excited to see his walkout. It's always pretty electric. He's got the rock and roll theme. He goes with the mullet. I will say a little bit worried seeing he got armbarred by Corey Sandhagen, not a known grappler. And Jayperrin has a lot of rear naked choke submissions. That means he's getting it to the ground. He's trying to use his wrestling in there. But I will put faith in Mario Bautista's takedown defense. I think he is able to keep it standing, keep it at range with some straight punches, mixing the leg kicks. And I think Mario Bautista gets his hand raised in this one.
All right, yeah, Fish.
So Jayperrin, however you say it, he's making his debut, and this guy, he's had some tough fights, but recently his wins are coming from unanimous decision, subs. So like Goose said, Mario Bautista, I think he just stays out of danger with the sub and keeps it standing. He's got it, but this dude's tough. His wins, he's got knockout over Miles Johns, unanimous decision over Jinsu Sun, and his losses, his only sub, Corey Sandhagen, and his only knockout, Trevin Jones. So trains at a good gym, MMA lab, and I think he's got it, Mario Bautista.
Yeah, 100%. Let's move right into the next fight. This fight is I'm actually excited for this one. Jonathan Pierce versus Christian Rodriguez. Looks like it might be the headline of the prelims. We'll see how it shakes out on Saturday. Jonathan Pierce 11-4 versus the prospect, the newcomer 7-0 Christian Rodriguez. This is a very interesting fight. I am done sleeping on Jonathan Pierce. I think I faded him even in his Contender Series fight. I'm done with that, dude. This guy's a dog, man. For real, he'll wear on people, and the thing about Jonathan Pierce is I'm actually watching his progression throughout his fights. Not only am I fading him, but I'm watching him get better every time he steps in the octagon, and I love that. And I love how this guy hasn't been tested, and Jonathan Pierce is going to be the guy. So give me Jonathan Pierce, round 2 submission, maybe 3, but he took out Omar Morales in the last fight. Took him out in the 3rd round. I was impressed, to say the least. This guy's got a chin. He's got a huge gas tank and a lot of heart. Give me Jonathan Pierce to fight for my money. That's a fact. Let's go Fishman off rip on this one.
So Pierce, like you said, tough dude. I mean, this dude comes out to fight. His last fight, Omar Morales knockout win, Kai Kamaka knockout. And he did take a loss in 2019 to Joe Lazon. But I mean, this dude's dangerous, and I think he gets the job done against a dude making his debut. And he had a Dana White Contender Series win, didn't get the contract, went to fight somewhere else, and now he's here. But Pierce, he's fighting that Fight Ready. He has more XP, and like, you can't go against Fight Ready Cejudo, a guy with XP, against a guy going for his debut. So let's go Pierce.
Yeah, Goosey, run it.
Yeah, you look at this, another short notice step up with Christian Rodriguez. I'm going to take Jonathan Pierce in this one. He's a big body at featherweight. He can push the pace, and he has really good wrestling. Christian Rodriguez, great record. The opponents are questionable, okay? When you get into the UFC and the guy that you fought last is 9-36, it's going to be hard for me to pick you in your debut, let alone on short notice. So barring him absolutely starching Jonathan Pierce early in the 1st round, I see Jonathan Pierce walking him in this one through the 2nd and 3rd. I'm looking at Christian Rodriguez's record right now. He has 1 3rd-round finish, but a majority of his fights are getting stopped in the 1st round against questionable competition. So, again, I think all signs in this one are pointing to Jonathan Pierce. That's the side I'm going to ride with.
Dano, rip it.
Yeah, gotta go Jonathan Pierce. I followed, or not followed, but I remember Christian Rodriguez being on the Contender Series, and he put up a good fight, but he lost. And then I didn't follow him. And like you said, he's back in the UFC. So what happened? He had to have had a fight, and we look, and it's actually 16-37, which, I mean, still bad. Still one of those where you go 16-37. So that's a red flag. But I don't know. Like you said, JSP, we can't keep sleeping on him. I think he's a stud. And if he wants to get his career rolling, he's got to win this fight. So I think he has everything in line for him, but we'll see if he performs, and I think he will.
Yeah, I think he's a savage to the bone. So I don't think the lights are going to be too much of a problem for him at the headline. All right, we got the next one. We got some big old boys, Joaquin Buckley and Abdul Razak Alhassan, to open up the card, the main card. I'm going to take Buckley in this just because Alhassan, the guy isn't put together all the way and just has a lot of holes I just really don't like to see. I feel like, yeah, Buckley's chinny and he could easily get gripped in this, But I mean, in a 3-round fight, I think Buckley just bounces around. I don't think Razak is back to normal, man. Ever since he got plywooded, he's just not the same dude. So give me Buckley in this fight. Let's go Goosey off the rip.
I'm going on Alhassan in this one. I think he's a little bit more crisp on the feet. Not saying that Buckley has bad technique at all. I think they're pretty evenly matched fighters. I think Alhassan brings a little bit more quickness, where Buckley is throwing a little bit more muscle behind his shots. I like some of the wins that Alhassan has, specifically Nico Price and Alessi DiCirico. You know, Nico Price, a guy who has my respect, known for having a good chin on the feet, and he got knocked out in the first round against Alhassan. DiCirico knocked out Buckley, turns around, gets knocked out by Alhassan. Am I super confident in Alhassan? No, because there are times where he just comes out and looks really weird. But I think if he has it put together in this, he comes out like I know he's capable of. I expect him to get the win, and I'm going to pick Alhassan in this one.
Dano.
All right, so I'm really nervous that Alhassan's gonna either just hold him on the ground, because I mean, when I think of Joaquin Buckley, I just feel like he has no ground game. So that's always a red flag for me. I'm afraid that he'll get just wet blanketed on the ground, and I'm also afraid he'll gas out. With that being said, I'm gonna take Buckley by knockout. I think that he's gonna come out quick in the first round, and I'm just praying he doesn't gas out. And if he doesn't do that, I think, he's got all the hype around him about that spinning head kick, ninja style, whatever he did. So I think he's going to try and regain some of that hype coming off that loss. That's tough, but this will be a good one. Alhassan, like you said, he's been through some wars. He's older. His chin might be a little depleted. So we just need a good old Buckley overhand or something.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Fish.
A good old overhand. Joaquin Buckley. So this guy trains at Extreme Couture, great gym, and we all know dangerous, has some pop, can definitely get his leg caught up and then do some spinning kick right to the chin. But so like Goose said, this guy Alessio did Chirico. Buckley lost to him, and it took Alhassan about 17 seconds to knock his ass out. So I'm going with Alhassan for the reason being that Buckley, when I see him fight, I don't see him making a lot of smart decisions. And I hope that I think he could be a great fighter if his fight IQ goes up a little bit and he doesn't get caught up in dangerous just stand and bang situations. If he makes smart decisions, I think he can win this fight. But two guys swinging their fists at each other, and I'm going to take the underdog on this one, Alhassan.
All right, bet. All right, next fight, Jim Miller versus Nicholas Mata. Jim Miller, always a good underdog pick. This guy upsets everybody, but I think Nicholas Mata is just a little bit too much. Where Jim Miller usually takes advantage in situations, Nicholas Mata, I think, has enough to hold his own. I like Nicholas Mata by decision. Don't think he starches him. Let's go, Dano.
Yeah, no. So Jim Miller is a good underdog, or at least I should say he was an underdog. Was a good underdog, excuse me. But I don't think he is anymore, and I think the line is pretty accurate. And I got to stick with Mata. I think he's just younger, better, and he'll be able to keep the older Jim Miller at bay.
Yeah, Fish.
So Jim Miller, this dude is a vet, 22-15 in the UFC. I mean, this guy's his debut was in UFC 89 in 2008. And so he's battle tested. He has XP. Endurance is a question mark. Durability is a question mark. When you're getting to this age, he's 38 now, and as much as I would love to see Jim Miller win, I think the younger guy is going to get it. Nicholas Mata, 3-win streak, he has 2 wins at his last 3. 2 were in Cage Fury, and this last one, Dana White Contender Series, season 4. So 8 wins by knockout. I've got Mata on this one.
Goose.
Yeah, you look at Jim Miller, he is kind of on a streak of starts in these prospects right now. And looking across the cage from him is a prospect in this one. That being said, I'm going with Mata. I think he brings a very well-rounded game to the table. He's got good cardio, and that's kind of what you need to beat Jim Miller. I'm a little bit concerned with the chin. I think I've seen it. He's got knocked out in the first round twice. But barring that big punch from Miller, I think Mata has the wherewithal to navigate, put himself in manageable situations, and use his youthfulness to his advantage in this one. Obviously, Jim Miller has the experience. I don't think there's anyone in the UFC with more experience than Jim Miller. But when you're in the fight game, sometimes you have too much experience. You get in too many fights, the chin starts wavering, the body starts breaking down. And I see the youthfulness, the prospect of Nicholas Mata being able to get his hand raised in this one.
Facts on facts on facts. So we're all riding Nicholas Mata. The next fight is an absolute slobber fest. As said before, we got Alan Budo versus Parker Porter. Parker Porter probably wins a decision in this one. Do I think it goes to a decision? No. I think Alan Budo finishes this fight in the first round after a lot of improvements and a pretty big target. He's going to have a lot of stuff to swing at. He's going to have a big landing area. I think he can get it done. But if he can't in the first round, Parker Porter probably wins 2-3. So don't go hammering Budo. I would just take the sprinkle of the knockout. Let's go Goosey off rip.
I'm going to start out by saying, you look at this fight, you're probably not going to see greatness. You're seeing 2 big heavyweights, almost a bar type fight in this one. If it goes longer, I think Parker Porter will be able to just sort of slobber knock his way to a decision. But he's a big boy. In the UFC, he's getting hit with 7 significant strikes a minute, and his takedown defense or his takedown offense is like 20 or 30%. If this fight stays on the feet, Alan Budo is going to hit him with something. And it just comes down to whether Parker Porter can keep standing or not. Personally, I see maybe not the lights going out, but I see him getting put on the ground. And when you're that big as Parker Porter, it's going to be tough to get back up. Alan Budo might rain some ground and pound on him, but I see Alan Budo getting the finish in this one.
Dano.
Yeah, so with just like unranked mid-tier heavyweights, I kind of, I started looking, glancing over the tape. Let me look at the record. All right, I got Budo. I think it's just going to be a crap show, but let's ride Budo on this one.
Fish.
Parker Porter, 2-1. And 2 unanimous decision streak against Chase Sherman and Josh Parisian. He has a loss to Chris Dalkus, whose brother Kyle is the next fight in the card, co-main. But I'm going with Alan Budo on this one. Trains at ATT. And, he's fought tough dude. Tom Aspinall, he had a good fight with Rodrigo Nascimento. And, but yeah, ATT, we're going with him.
Fire. Co-main. Jamie Pickett, Kyle Dalkus. Dalkus is 10-2. Jamie Pickett 13-6. The odds that I see right now that are live have Jamie Pickett at plus 195, Dalkus at minus 260. Too steep for me. Jamie Pickett is a specimen. I follow him on all social medias, and he's grinding. He's grinding, and he's improving. He looked good in his last fight. I think that he might be strong enough to keep this fight where it's got to be. With my fingers crossed, I hope that Dalkus doesn't turn into a chain wrestler, because that would just be tragic. If this fight stays on the feet, Jamie Pickett has a very valid chance, and I think that he can stay composed. He does some things I don't like. He's hesitant at times. In some positions, he looks lost. Dalkus much smoother, much cleaner, but Pickett bigger. Plus 195, I'll take a little dabble. Give me Jamie Pickett. Let's go, Goosey.
Yeah, so letting you into my brain while I'm breaking down this fight, I see path to victory for both fighters. Okay, first, I mean, Pickett just won over a lengthy fighter, good wrestling, pretty good stand-up. He was an underdog in that fight, came out and got it done. That being said, I think I'm taking Dalkus in this one. And this is more out of respect to Dalkus. I don't think he has the value in this fight, but I do think he gets his hand raised. His boxing is like he's like not super impressive, but it's like slick and pretty underrated, I feel like. You know, you never see Kevin Holland getting hit that cleanly. And maybe it was because this was like a fight that he went into kind of trying to show off his wrestling, but he took some shots against Dalkus. And I think if Dalkus hits Pickett with the same shots, he'll find himself in a favorable position in this fight with the option to take down. He has better cardio. And, you know, I see him grinding this one out to a late submission finish. I would say probably third round, but Pickett, I know he's been in the gym. I've seen some of his stuff on social media. I know he's been grinding. So my take is going to be Dalkus by decision.
Valid take. Dano.
All right, so I think this fight's just gonna be like, if this happens, we'll get Pickett. If this happens, we'll get Dalkus, like Goose said. But like early on, if Pickett can stop the takedowns, keep the fight on the feet, I think he'll fare well. But if Dalkus, you know, chain wrestles or gets a takedown and kills a minute, they get up, another takedown, kills a minute, I think that's just gonna drain Pickett. And you know, after that's when we start talking about the late sub or decision. But I mean, Pickett, dude, like he's huge and he's got the knockout power and like the kicks are dangerous, but like, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna gas out? It's one of those things where, I mean, I think Dalkus is pretty composed. He's just like a pretty chill dude. So I think he's gonna go in there, and I think Gus said it perfectly that we're going to get a late round finish or decision.
Boom. Fishman.
So Kyle Dalkus, dangerous guy on the ground, and he's been active. Pickett's been active. Pickett's last fight was about a month ago against Joseph Holmes, won by unanimous decision. He's on a 2-win streak now. 9 knockouts, only been finished once, Beverly Hills Ninja. And, but yeah, I mean, Pickett, he could get submitted, and I definitely think he would gas quicker than Kyle in this fight. But, minus 260, I don't know. Kyle Dalkus, though, in 2020, he has a Cage Fury championship win. He came into the UFC, lost to Brendan Allen, won against Dustin Stoltzfus. And then this is where, so Phil Haas, he lost to Phil Haas. And I don't know. I feel like Pickett, knowing that Dalkus he's not a threat on the feet, but I feel like Pickett will be able to maybe let loose a little bit, not be as scared about the hands, and hopefully he can keep it on the feet. I'm going to go with Pickett on this for the underdog pick, but yeah, Dalkus definitely danger on the ground for sure.
Yeah, Pickett's just a great value pick. I mean, he's going to be the bigger guy, and he loves to play the volume striking game. So, I mean, how could you not like that at plus 195? Let's move on to the next one. It is the main event, Johnny Walker versus Jamahal Hill. Jamahal Hill, 9-1. That won via Paul Craig. What a guy. Snapped that puppy. Ended up not being snapped. It was like dislocated, and he ended up being like fine, which is weird. But what a just weird incident. He's still a stallion in my eyes. I think that Paul Craig just kind of alphaed him in the sense. Kind of exposed him. But Johnny Walker has a problem, man. Like everywhere in this guy's head. This guy is out of his mind. I mean, from the posts he posts on Instagram and the things he says and just the shit that just the way he looks, man. This guy is just a clown. But with that being said, he's fucking dangerous as shit. Like he has jumping knees, he has flying switch kicks, he's got roundhouse, he can fucking squeeze the pop of your head like a watermelon, I'd imagine. He is dangerous in every aspect, but when it comes down to being technical, he's working on it. In his last fight, he wasn't as crazy. He's known to be like a guy that jumps out, like comes straight out of the cage. But in his last fight, he came out very timid. He worked a whole decision, I believe. Kind of a different Johnny Walker. Him and Jamahal Hill clashing and swinging combinations is inevitable, though. And I'm going to take Jamahal Hill because I've just seen Johnny Walker. I've seen him be knocked out more than 10 times. Whether his record says 5 or whatever, I've seen it more than 10 times. Like, he'll go down like 6 or 7 times before he actually gets the ref involved. So with that being said, by brain damage, CTE, everything under the book, I'm going to take Jamahal Hill in this matchup via first round splatter. Let's go Fishman.
So yeah, Johnny Walker, 4-3 in the UFC, dangerous guy on the feet, 15 knockouts, been knocked out 3 times. But so here's where it gets interesting for me. So Jamahal Hill, this guy, he comes out to fight. I mean, knocks out of Vince St. Preux, gets his arm snapped on Paul Craig and just has it flop in there. Doesn't even, I don't remember. I don't think he was tapping. He wasn't tapping. The ref didn't see anything, didn't stop it. It was flopping there like a wet noodle. And, I mean, thugged it out, got it popped back in, and was at the club with Paul Craig after it, turning up. So, I mean, it was funny. I mean, this dude then comes back quick, I think, and gets a win against Jimmy Crute, I believe. But, yeah, I mean, so his strikes landed per minute, 7.45 versus Johnny Walker, which is at a 3.4. And I think Jamahal Hill will clip Walker in this fight, and I'm riding with Hill.
Bet that up. Let's go, Dano.
Let's go. I'm going with Hill too. And right off the bat, what scares me are the leg kicks of Johnny Walker. Like, he's like a massive dude. But I feel like you said, he's chinny. Like, I feel like I've seen him get knocked out a lot. And when I think of this fight, I think of him flying at Jamahal Hill, like you said, like flying switch kicks, a front kick, a flying knee, Superman punch. And it's just going to be if Jamahal Hill can like effectively counter and play defense and like hit those shots, because Jamahal Hill is like so precise and so clean with the boxing, but Johnny Walker's so wild. So I think it's going to be, can Jamahal Hill, I don't think this fight's going to go to the ground. I think it's going to be a stand-up fight, and it's going to be, can Jamahal Hill counter and play defense? That's going to be, I think, the story of this fight. And if he can, knockout. I think it's going to be Jamahal Hill knockout.
Interesting. So you're kind of seeing it going into a few rounds, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Goosey, take us home.
Okay, so like last week, we had Izzy fighting. I reverted to my Goosey's top 15 striker list. Jamahal Hill is number 15. I ride with my guys. Okay, I'm picking Jamahal Hill in this. You look at it, Johnny Walker, he came out, had a little bit of a different style his last fight out. I think he comes out in this one. I think he's composed, but I think he is prepared to put on a show. And I think he's funky enough to make Jamahal Hill think early. You know, Jamahal Hill's a calculated striker. He's going to stay within his game plan. I don't think he's going to get caught reaching like Johnny Walker typically gets his wins off of. But I do see Johnny Walker making it funky early. I see him shooting for takedowns because he's not going to want to stand with Jamahal Hill. So I will say I see it getting to the second round. I see Johnny Walker getting a little loose, getting back to his old tactics, and Jamahal Hill is going to hit him with a 1-2 that I'm going to feel bad about after. Okay? Like, I think Johnny Walker, he might be asking for it. He's going to be doing some funky stuff. But when he's laying there, I'm going to feel pretty bad. But then I'm going to feel happy again because I picked Jamahal Hill and I got it right. I'm going Jamahal Hill, second round KO. Let's go, baby. Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams, bro. Well, dude, once he's in there dancing and shit, you won't feel bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's going to put on that clown show where he comes out and starts doing shit. Yo, TBT till that time when he did his celebration, when he fell into the worm and he dislocated his shoulder.
Right?
What a
bot.
guy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up the picks. Stay tuned. We're going to do a Bareknuckle tribute. We got new videos coming out all the time. Get at us on Instagram and Twitter. We got the Gauntlet, CEO Geeks 2-0.
Now Geeks are hot. Let's keep it going, boys.
Yeah, Geeks are hot. Jamahal Hill knockout, baby. We're rooting for it.
Yeah. Jamahal Hill inside the distance. A little sneak peek to the Geek sheet. We out.